Let's meet someone who has built Australia's largest business coaching company, written best-selling books, and is passionate about helping entrepreneurs find success with purpose. Welcome to The Inspired CEO, where each episode we explore the innovative wellness practices that are driving success and longevity in the modern business world. In this episode, we chat with Jack Delosa, one of Australia's leading entrepreneurs, investors, and best-selling author. As the founder and CEO of the Entourage, the country's largest business coaching company, Jack has guided thousands of business owners to scale with confidence and purpose. He's been named to the AFR Young Rich List multiple times, and he's also written 2 best-selling books, Unprofessional and Unwritten. And he hosts the Jack Delosa podcast. Jack is passionate about redefining success by aligning business growth with impact, purpose, and personal development. Welcome, Jack. What a resume.
Thank you so much for having me, Kate. What an intro. That was very well done. Thank you.
Wow. Take us back to how it all began, because I think people see the headlines and Jack Delosa's $100 million revenue and all of these sorts of things, and particularly in Australia, the tall poppy syndrome, they want to cut people down because they think you somehow got there with a bit of luck and magic, and it must have been an easy ride to the top.
Sure.
I know it wasn't that. How did it start for you?
My business career actually started probably when I was about 4.
Yeah.
In so much as that's where the frustration and the inspiration came from. So my parents ran a not-for-profit organization called Breaking the Cycle.
Yes.
And they would take youth at risk off the street, out of abusive homes, out of jails. They put them through a 3-month training program in life skills and personal development skills and employability skills. And then they place them into employment. And they would deliberately choose the young adults from the most challenged of backgrounds. Even though they would choose the most challenged of background, the adults from the most challenged of backgrounds, they were the best at what they did in the country. And so what they did worked really well. Mum was the head teacher, Dad was the general manager. And so that was literally the classroom that I grew up in. I grew up in Mum's classroom as she was teaching life skills and employability skills. I remember things like she'd be driving me to primary school and she'd have, the cassette of The 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard or a Tony Robbins tape or, something like that. And so it was just in my DNA from a very, very young age. Breaking the Cycle gave me a lot of frustration in that it was very evident, and this is, going back 30 years, longer than 30, 35 years. It was very evident that the traditional system of go to school, go to university, get a job, retire wasn't working for everybody back then. And that's only more true today. And it's becoming exponentially more true as we enter into the future. But then the government restructured the way they sort of issued money out to not non-profits, and Breaking the Cycle was unsuccessful in sort of losing money under the new regime. Yeah. So the organization collapsed. And I was probably 12 when that happened. And, it was it was embedded into the fabric of our lives. We had some of the students living in our home and our weekends would be at fun runs. And I'd wag school to, be at the Breaking Cycle office during the week. And so it was very much a lifestyle for me, even at that young age. And so at 12, I remember thinking and being very frustrated. Who decided money was better spent elsewhere? Yeah. And to be honest, as an entrepreneur and investor today, I'd probably still ask the same question. Yeah. And so that frustrated me a lot. And so from a very young age, I saw just how challenged a background a lot of people do come from. Yeah. I saw just how much they can transform and step into the best version of themselves when given the right support and the right environment. And I also saw the downsides of a non-profit business model. And so I've, from a very young age, wanted to build businesses that improve people's lives and make an impact, but I want to do that in a way that's financially sustainable and scalable so that I can attract the best talent from around the world. Right now I've got a team of 40 or 50 in Sydney and another kind of 20 around the world. And very, the best and brightest minds in business and AI and digital marketing and media. And you can't do that unless a business is financially successful.
That's
and
right.
so
Yes.
I've always wanted
Profit
to build...
for purpose.
Exactly.
My question to you is, I feel like a lot of people hear entrepreneurs is a bit of a buzzword. So you've got people that are small business owners that maybe don't really want to get in that arena. They want to make money and they want to be big, but they're not willing to take the risks and put themselves out there. And then you've got people that want to be entrepreneurs and they've got all these great ideas, but also won't step into the arena. So tell me a little bit about stepping into the arena, because you took some huge risks and risks don't always pay off. And that's some of the untold story, or you do tell it.
Yeah.
But tell me what that pain, that challenge, that period in your life felt like when you started scaling your first business and then a registered training organisation. And then you read the news on the Herald Sun, was my interpretation of things, and you found out that the funding had been pulled.
Yeah. So that definitely wasn't my first business. I didn't scale my first business because I didn't know how to scale businesses. And so to kind of take a step back a little bit in terms of stepping into the arena, I think it's really important that anybody that wants to start a business or has started a business, it's important that we understand you will have this kind of like apprenticeship period, right? Like I dropped out of university, but...
Studying law and commerce, just for anyone who's...
It didn't last long.
Yeah, but amazing to actually, get into that. Well done.
And so I discontinued university, but that's not to say that I didn't do my apprenticeship. My apprenticeship was just in the real world, confronting the market and reality and being beaten up and learning through trial and error. And so it's a self-driven, self-initiated apprenticeship done in the real world. And the reason why I think that's important is business is seriously challenging. And if you're doing it alone, it's seriously lonely and isolating. And so there's a lot of business owners out there who are kind of struggling with it, going, what's wrong with me? But what happens is when you step into, a conversation with someone like yourself, or a room, we do some events, there's like 1,500 people in a room. You step into a room of other entrepreneurs and then you realize everybody's got the same challenges I do. Everybody's got the same insecurities I do. Everybody feels like they're an idiot and they're inadequate and they're just freaking making it up. Like we all feel like that, and that feeling never goes away. And so it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means you're in the arena.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really important piece, is that we are all figuring it out as we go. And
no one's got it all together.
And you can't, particularly with business, it's not like, like you want to become a doctor, you go to university and you'll unquestionably learn a lot of what is required when you step into the arena. Of course, doctors continue to build out their kind of dimensionality when they're in the arena, but they're learning a lot before they step into the arena. In business, it's not really like that. It's like you have to learn through doing.
Yes.
Now, as you're learning through doing, I think you should surround yourself with advisors and people that can accelerate your growth curve. But it's like you as an entrepreneur and anybody pursuing a dream that wants to be the best version of themselves and create a certain life or realize a certain vision, we have to realize that we will spend most of our lives outside of our comfort zone. And when you're outside of your comfort zone, by definition, you're going to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
And so much of the practice and the discipline and the kind of emotional development of an entrepreneur and anybody chasing a dream is realizing that I'm choosing a non-traditional path and I'm probably going to feel uncomfortable most of the time.
Sidestep from there. Now, talking about the education system. So we certainly don't get taught that going to school, what that feels like.
Yeah.
And now having your own 2.5-year-old or nearly 2.5-year-old daughter, I've seen something, was it in the Daily Mail perhaps, about not going through with the traditional education system. What's your plan for Ariella, and why do you think the education system's outdated?
So Ariella was born in 2023.
Yes.
The purpose of school is not to educate people, it's to get people into university. Like that's technically and practically and literally what they're designed to do today. And so if Ariella was to go through the traditional path of school and university, she would come out of university in 2045.
Whoa, yeah, okay. Future.
Yeah. Future. Yeah, exactly. Future. And so the traditional education system isn't teaching what's relevant in 2025, much less 2045. And the gap has only been widening for the last 20 years. And it's only going to widen at a faster rate for the next 20 years.
Oh, every week with the AI.
Literally every week. And the way the education system is developed with so much bureaucracy and so much government kind of intervention, I don't think it's even possible for the traditional education system to redesign itself enough to keep up with the real world going forward. And so people say, how do we change the education system? I don't think you do. I think what we will start to see more of is satellite providers and often businesses outside the traditional system. Obviously, even if you're a private business delivering education, you do need to be accredited and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So there's certain boxes that you need to tick. But as a private provider, you can ensure that you're meeting the curriculum requirements while doing things really innovatively and in a way that's more suited to the world we live in today, more suited to the way the world's becoming, and more suited to the humanity of the individual as opposed to this kind of factory production line that we've been running for 200 years. And so I don't think the traditional education system will change nor keep up. I think it will be overrun, and I think it will become redundant in 10, 15, 20 years. And I think we'll see a new style of education that is student first, that's AI enabled. You know, if you think about AI for a second, right? In 3 to 7 years, we will all have an AI tutor, let's call it that for now. It could be a best friend that kind of solves all our needs, but let's just focus on the education side for now. A tutor that understands, and let's use our kids as an example, understands what our kid, specifically and individually, is good at, what they're not good at, what they love, what they hate, how their brain is wired, what their natural inclinations are, what their preferences are, what their learning style is, how they like to be challenged, how they like to get feedback, how quickly you can stretch them and to what degree. It will know all of these things. And so not too far in the future, every child on the planet will be able to have an AI tutor, let's call it that I think will be complemented by human teachers. At least it should be.
Oh, absolutely. Human connection won't be replaced ever.
Absolutely will not.
The way that we learn things.
Yes, exactly. And so if you think about the level of education that AI tutor could give every kid on an individual basis completely across the planet to anybody with an internet connection, which everybody will have an internet connection in 3 years, then you're kind of starting to get a sense of what education will look like. I do want to reiterate your point, which is I don't think education will become purely AI-driven, but it will be very AI-enabled, complemented with human beings who care, who are capable and intelligent, that can help kids grow.
And I'm just picturing with that, we have got this herd mentality that you're all coming into the classroom together. There's one lesson for everyone. If you don't fit in, you don't understand, you can't do it, you fail. Yeah. And you don't go to university and you miss out and you will work at the checkout.
Yeah, or it's like university or tradie. Yeah. You know, it's like the world is so much more multidimensional than that.
And so going back to entrepreneurship, so you've just run a complete sellout AI
intensive,
event.
2 days.
2 days, it looked incredible. Thank you. I saw all the reviews on it. And what is one thing that you'd love to share with the listeners about what they should take away with what's coming? Because I'm sure there were 10 million things to take away.
Yeah. Business owners or people in general?
Business owners.
Business owners. The main thing is this. 2 things, if I may. The first one, right now AI is optional. In 12 months, it'll be table stakes. And for those unfamiliar with poker, table stakes, you have to pay it to sit at the table. And so you'll either be using AI in a year or you'll be lagging behind significantly. Secondly is business owners love chasing shiny things, right? We're kind of that ADHD, frenetic type personalities. And AI can make that worse. particularly right now, there's so much hype and there's so much talk around AI. There's an infinite number of tools being, made and released every week. And so it's really easy to get lost in the hype and at a superficial level, use it as this kind of mental stimulation and play around with it. But for me as a business owner and an entrepreneur and investor, I'm not a technology person. I'm a business person. And so I don't come at it from a technological angle. I come at it from an outcomes perspective.
Yes.
How is it being used right now to make you more money, to get your time back 10, 20, 30 hours a week, to improve the output of your team and to improve your life?
Yes.
And so I think that's what we need to focus on as business owners is don't get lost in the hype and the talk and I don't really care how many tools there are. I don't really care what the world's going to look like. We're all flying around in spaceships in 15 years. What I'm interested in is, and this is what we've been developing for the last 2 years and what we're now helping other businesses to do, is implementing real world AI today that helps you attract more leads, convert more sales, deliver a better experience for your customers, and get your time back operationally. And it's really good at that if you get really focused on the use cases of it as opposed to the superficial excitement of it.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense because at the end of the day, you've always done the hard work and put the hard work in. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are shortcutting AI. They're using it to do their work, but not using it to actually for the right smarts. So
definitely.
I see people say, they finish their work and they're like, but I don't know how to do something so simple like fix a coffee machine. Yeah. You wouldn't think to use your chat GPT for that, but you get all your work done in 30 seconds? Really? Yeah. People haven't clued on that.
It can help you with it.
Yeah, it's not to shortcut. It's not to give a summary of everything. Yeah. There are other things that you can use it practically that you should be using it for. You shouldn't be saying, I don't know how to fix a coffee machine and walking off. That's when you pull out your phone and figure it out. Yeah. And I think with that in mind too, so you've got lots of different, well, you've got your books, you've got the Entourage, you're looking at moving and scaling up in America, investments. What else is in your portfolio?
Right now, I invest in different businesses, a couple of times a year type thing. Right now, my main focus is the Entourage. We've evolved a lot as an organization. I started the Entourage in 2010. And so today we have a digital marketing company. We have a conversion rate optimization company that helps people increase conversions across marketing and sales. We're launching an AI agency at the moment to help business owners implement AI globally. And we have the coaching aspect where we really help kind of established business owners scale in a way that's faster and easier. And so, funnily enough, I'm a big proponent of focus. And I'm not, because I've got these 4 things. And so right now that's between that and my amazing girls who I'm smitten by and trying to get to the gym every day. That's kind of everything in my world right now.
Yeah, I get it. And you've been on a health journey yourself too, haven't you? Yeah. How's that going?
Really good. Yeah.
Tell me what you're doing. What's your routine?
Well, for me, I think it's probably quite typical of a male health program. Probably, I'm trying to lose fat and gain muscle, and so a healthy calorie deficit of between 500 and 1,000 calories a day. Yeah. High protein, and then weights training 4 to 6 times a week. Good. But I really enjoy it. I've been on a couple of different health journeys, as most people. You would know better than anybody. Oh yeah. And for me, I'm in a groove with it all now where I'm doing everything I'm doing around it. I love my nutrition plan. I love my training. I love the energy that it gives me to play with my girls. And so
you've got consistency too, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think I think you have to enjoy it. Well, enjoying it gives you a much better chance of being consistent.
Yes. Yeah. And if you do anything consistently, it does pay off. Right. And that's the key thing. Most people won't get started because they think their first workout needs to be an hour. No, 10 minutes. 10 minutes is better than the nothing you did yesterday. And if you do 10 minutes every day, you've got 70 minutes.
And the other thing, which again, I'm sure you see more than anybody, is I think often we get started and we don't see results in the first month, and so we quit. You know what I mean? And it's like the body doesn't change that fast. It will change if you're consistent over an extended period of time. But I think, consistency over a long period of time.
And if you're not seeing change in the first month, just caveat, dietitian, ex-phys, diabetes educator, please get some help because you should. You should. Yeah. Keep going.
I suppose what I mean by that is, again, if I talk on behalf of, myself and my male friend, you're not going to look like a bodybuilder.
No, you're not getting.
You will have lost.
I
mean, you might have lost a couple of kilos. Yes, you might have built a little bit of muscle, right?
It's progress.
But, I'm sure, again, this is your domain. I don't even know what I'm talking about it, but I loved what you said around the, start by working out for 10 minutes. The science around habits is absolutely conclusive these days, in that what we tend to do as human beings is we go, I want to get fit. I want to lose weight. I'm going to stop eating. I'm going to train for 20 hours a day. And we set these ginormous goals because we're in a rush to get there. And then we're not able to sustain it because it was just too big of a thing. And so the science around habits is really clear, which is start small so that you can stack wins. And as commit to training for 10 minutes tomorrow.
Yes.
And then get that done, tick. That's your first win.
Yes.
And then train for 20 minutes for 2 days, And so slowly build up like a personal development or personal training plan. And as you stack the wins, you kind of start to build the self-identity and the enjoyment of being in that arena.
And straight away, I go to, okay, that's how I'm going to start my AI journey. While you're doing your health journey,
Yes.
I'll start my 10 minutes a day of doing a little bit more research on AI
100%.
and where to start. Because it feels overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's I could not endorse that anymore. And that kind of comes back to what I was saying before is people are overwhelmed with AI right now because it's like, oh my God, it can do everything. It's like, no. Ask yourself this, what's the number one constraint in my business right now? What's the number one challenge that, if unlocked, would make the biggest difference? And then work out how you and your team might be able to integrate a little bit of AI to get that constraint unlocked. And so just start with one small thing.
I love that. So if people want to reach out to you and get help with getting started, perhaps get a coach, what do they do?
Best place for me, I think, is probably Instagram. So I'm hanging out the most. I'm just Jack Delosa on Instagram,
Amazing. And if they want to follow your podcast?
It's called the Elevate Podcast, and it's everywhere you get your podcasts.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Kate. I really love what you've done in business, and I love what you're doing with this podcast because I think it's a very important set of conversations to be taking out into the world. So thank you for having me.
Well, you are the new Tony Robbins of Australia. Thank you. And this is the Inspired CEO, and we'll be right back.